orientation. I know you've all been excited and awaiting this moment. So please, without much delay, I would like to welcome everyone that's here. I'd like to welcome the mentor that we have for today, Mr. Abdurrahim Abdurrahman. I'm sure you've all gone through his profile and gotten to know who he is and what you'd be expecting from him in the coming weeks. I also like to thank DSHub, the management, for organizing the time and allowing for this orientation. It's very important because the last cohort did not have this privilege. There was only one general orientation for everyone, so there was nothing like a track wise or track specific orientation where you get to know what is exactly expected from your track. So this privilege is peculiar to only this cohort A this year. So you should all take advantage of this time, ask as many questions as you can, as necessary questions as you can, and also pay attention to all that we discussed. My name is Umar Tijani Ahmad, as you all know. I'm your program coordinator for this year, and you get to meet all other members of DSHub as the time goes. So without more delay, I would like to call on Mr. Abdurrahman Abdurrahim to discuss a little bit about front end and what to expect from your track. Then I will be answering any question concerning the general structure of the internship or anything concerning the internship that you would like to know. Good evening, Mr. Abdurrahim.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much, Mr. Omar Tejani, for the intro. So, good evening, everybody, once again. Um, Without much ado, let's go on and start the orientation proper. So, let's start by I did welcome you initially. So, let's go ahead with the introduction, just like you heard from the coordinator and the CEO himself. My name is Abdurrahim Abdurrahman, a graduate of computer engineering with 3 years experience with front end development, and I actually enjoy combining machine learning and software development to build intelligent app. Though recently I'm currently working on training deep learning models for humor detection, and also working on an AI medical assistant app to guide users while they are in some sort of health distress. And I'm particularly interested in software engineering, computer vision, and building user-focused application. And once again, I've been opportuned by this great organization that is DSHub, to serve as a mentor for the 2026 cohort A, front end and back end track for this particular internship. Though this is the first time we are having both tracks, so we look forward to seeing what the amazing things that you, the interns, are going to come up with. So about the particular track, sorry, we have to generalize the name software engineering since we are both dealing with front end and back end. So what particularly is expected from this track? Firstly, also what you be expecting, I believe you be expecting to learn practical software engineering skills by actually working on real world development tasks, or let's say working on real world problems in order to have impact to the society. And we'll also have collaboration in engineering teams whereby you will work with other people, I believe, which are all across the countries, thereby solving a problem and bringing out a solution to tackle such a problem. Then lastly, we now have what improve problem. You also be expecting that at the end of this internship, you have improved problem solving skills and coding confidence, whereby after going through these 9 weeks, I promise you won't regret it. The quality of your code will be much more improved and better compared to while when you started the internship. So for the track overview, both front end and back end, what we'll be focusing on, starting with front end, is user interface development. Since at the end of the day, that's what matters in front end. You are the first contact while a user is using a product. So that particular, let's say, portal or medium through which the user interacts with such a product, you are responsible for how it works, how it behaves, and how the user, let's say, to some degree perceive it. Then also, after building such an interface, you are also expected to make sure the interface is responsive in the sense that, irrespective of which particular device the product is placed, the interface should behave and accommodate any given design, thereby making it possible for users across all different um, giving the users the ability to access and use the product around using many devices as possible. Then lastly, you cannot just build, okay, you are building interfaces, but you cannot build interfaces without actually integrating the APIs through which the medium through which the data will be gotten and get and displayed on the interface, which is very, very important. That is integrating with external APIs that are either built by someone or already existing ones. Then lastly, for last but not the least, we try to limit it this time around. We now have improving user experience in such a way that you want to make sure the user actually enjoys the experience while using the app. Though I believe this responsibility is equally shared between you and maybe the UI UX designer that designed the interface. So for the back end now, you are literally, we could say, at the end of the day, maybe your work is not visible, or in some cases can even be considered invisible, but there is no front end to some degree. A front end have no use without a great deal of work on the back end that actually makes that front end to work well. For every platform or every software being built, the back end is as much more important as the front end. Just like they say, you can't have the body of a car without making it have a good engine that will make the car works. So what you'll be focusing on in is the API development, that is the endpoints that at the end of the day will be given to the front end to integrate for the particular product. Not also that, giving you'll be building databases basically, and even managing it in the sense that as users, you'll be saving users action within the database to make sure it's whatever action the user does, maybe let's say what he buys, what he plans to do, the track of his ability, the track of all the things he does actually being saved in order for the user to actually, sorry, can you pardon me, in order for all data of the user is being saved. And not only that, you are also tasked with making sure you build a really verbose authentication system, because you cannot just allow any access to the user's information or basically the user's data, and making sure it's being secured away from all sort of harm. It's being guarded from all sort of harm's ways. So, and lastly, in our application logic, basically how, like I said initially, you cannot have a good car without having a really good engine to make it work. So deciding the application logic on how it works, what does what, and when it starts, when it stops, you will be tasked with such a responsibility. So moving on. Um, So I believe I did talk about some of this, but let me go on once more. So during the period of this internship, the things you'll be working on development task. Sorry to use that word. I believe it's supposed to be you'll be working on problems that you'll be coming up with ways to solve these particular problems, giving from both the aspect of the front end and back end, come up with solutions that would work. And not only that, yeah, given that yes, you actually be working on problems. Nobody said you'll be working on problems alone. You have to collaborate with other interns that are from other particular field, specifically both of you, the front end and the back end, to make sure this particular solution for a given task or problem that you took up actually all right. It's actually solvable and the solution you come up with build up on it. Even with you also have to collaborate so with those in your UX tracks. Then we now have what present your progress. That is given that yes, the internship is of 9 weeks period, which it's being shared all across the way. So for each week now, you present your progress. That is what you did in particular, and not also yeah, you present your progress. You answer questions regarding how you go about how you go about actually coming up with your solution. And also again, you'll be heavily asked, I believe, your work will be looked into even regarding the technical aspect. Though I believe nowadays, given the advent of what we are having, I also what we are having, that is the age of AI. Yes, we are this hub here. We encourage the use of AI, but in the sense of assistance. I believe the term vibe coding is now becoming very popular and quite alright. It's good. People are selling the story of focus on the product, not the code. The code doesn't matter. Yes, the code doesn't matter for a particular set of individuals at the end of the day, your users. But in the on the engineering aspect, the code really matters. So regarding your this thing, how you work, regarding how you work, make sure this is just more of like a personal advice. Make sure you are the one using the AI, not the AI using you. Or let me use the term, you are doing AI assisted coding, irrespective of your track, either front end or back end. Then lastly, we also have attending. I believe this is supposed to be mentorship sessions again. Sorry about the typo. Mentorship sessions whereby you will whereby you will pick up a schedule a mentorship session with a mentor in order to ask questions regarding things that are maybe bottlenecks you are having. Then again, let me remind you, this is an internship, is not let's say a learning yeah, it's not let's say some sort of learning course or program. It's actually sorry to the term, it's actually yeah, it's actually a great place to learn, but in the sense that nobody will spoon feed you. You are responsible for your progress here. You have to go about it, see what you learn on your own. You don't, like we said again, the mentor. It's you are here to learn by yourself. For the mentorship sessions, the mentor is more of like there to guide you, not spoon feed you regarding what you are going to do. So please kindly take note. Don't come into the mentorship session preparing questions regarding regarding tax. Someone is regarding your tax. Okay, how will I go about doing this? What will I go about doing this? No, the mentor won't really assist you regarding that aspect. So moving on. So the tools you'll be using before I start, these tools are recommendations. The one you see right here, they are more of recommendations, not actually the ones you'll be using. So for the editor, they are sorry, let me come once again. Like I said, they are recommendations. We at DSHub, we didn't necessarily say you have to stick to this particular set of tools. You are free to explore as much as you want. That is our motto here at DSHub, learning. And when it comes to, there's no way to learn without actually exploring. So if you already are used to other tools, you are free to use them. And if you want to start learning, we can see how about what and even explore. Like I said, you can go ahead and use them. So for the tools you'll be using for the editor, we have VS Code, which is an open source and one of the most popular coding IDE that anyone can use. Git and GitHub for tracking your progress and saving your work. Lastly, Git for saving it locally on your system, while GitHub for saving it remotely on the cloud. We now have for backend testing, we now have Postman for API testing and integration. If you are done building an endpoint, you started the server, you want to test it locally to see if it works. And when it comes to the action aspect of collaboration, since there will be a lot of it while sharing document and other resources, we encourage the use of Google Drive. Since you are quite alright, you can use WhatsApp in order to actually do that. But along the way, I believe WhatsApp have like an any document uploaded on WhatsApp have like an, I won't call it an expiration date. So a particular period of time that the resources can easily get lost. So, and you won't be able to retrieve it. So in order to avoid that, we encourage the use of Google Drive for sharing resources. And also regarding, I believe, let me just go ahead and see it. You may notice regarding the aspect of frameworks that are to be used. We are yet to see anything about that. Like I said, and I'll keep giving emphasis on it here at DSHub. We encourage exploration. Basically, you are free to use anything you like. Though some of the advice I will give you while picking up tools you are going to use, pick up the ones that are highly popular, whereby why so that by the time you are having issues with them and you are going to like okay figure out you are going to trying to figure out what is the problem, there will be a lot of community support online and a lot of resources that you can go through to figure out what the issue is. Let's say, for example, now people in front end, I'm very sure you now realize frameworks like React and React Native are highly popular when it comes to front end. So I will encourage the use of them so that by the time you have issues, there are a lot of communities and resources to help you figure it out. But then again, that doesn't stop you from testing out or using others. For example, I believe use of frameworks like Vue, Angular, Flutter also are more than okay. So if those are the frameworks you are popular with and you are used to using, you can go ahead and use them, no problem. But then also again, for the aspect of backend also, I believe for building APIs, there is fast API from Python, the Django, Express.js, and I believe Nest.js. So on that aspect too, you are free to use as any of them as you want. Only as you can use anyone to actually do the task. But let me just end by saying when giving a task, there may come a time while that you may be giving a task that only limits you to using a particular framework, or a particular framework, irrespective of either front end or back end. So you are to actually adhere to the instruction, follow it, and make sure you do the task. I believe times are will come like that, and there will be reasons behind it. So make sure to actually do that. All right. So some of the things that I expected from you as the intern during this internship period include meeting deadlines while giving a task. Normally, the task drops. How the internship works, given the past cohort, each task drops early morning, Monday in the morning. Basically on Monday. So by that Monday, you'll be expected to go through the task, understand it. If there's any support or question you have, they would be, I believe, at the times, yeah, there will be supervisors that you can contact and ask them regarding, okay, I'm facing you believe this and that. There may be some tasks that needs clarification. At times, there are even tasks that have maybe, okay, some sort of mistake or things are missing out in them. So try to do that. That'll be on Monday, Wednesday. By Sunday, that is when the task is being submitted. So you can see for every task now, you have a span of 7 good days to complete it. Please make sure to meet up to deadline, and also again communicate when you are stuck. I believe, just like we said initially, at DSHub, we encourage the culture of actually learning, and one of the best ways, I believe, one of the sorry let me say one of the best constituents when it comes to learning, I believe, is collaboration. Because whenever you are stuck, and you are having problem something, speaking to others that maybe, okay, have experience or have gone through such an experience might offer you the solution. So rather than just keeping quiet and not telling others, kindly try to communicate your predicament. Or let's say in the cases, that is in the cases, or on the cases whereby assignments are. All right, I'm really sorry for the interruption. Something came up unexpected. So, like I said, communicate when you are stuck, and not only on the aspect of your task. Also, given that, okay, given that something come up, you may not be able to do the task for that particular week. Maybe you are having some sort of issue. Especially, I'm sure most of us that are in this internship are mostly students, and okay, mostly students. Your exam comes up, you're having an exam or text coming up, a very very important one, so you can communicate. We try to make things flexible and accommodating here at DSHub, so that to see that at the end of the day, you actually gain that knowledge you set out to achieve here. Because we do believe here that while there's nothing much more satisfying than watching someone you guided and give an opportunity to grow, actually grow into something that it doesn't really matter whether that person becomes ahead of us, but it actually satisfies us. So please communicate when you are stuck, collaborate with teammates. So this one again, collaboration, it's really important at DSO, because the culture of working with others, understanding how others work, how others do their how others actually go about their daily task and they deliver things, also makes it important. And then again, there's the famous quote that says, if you want to go fast, go alone, if you want to go far, go together. So we really want you to go far ahead in this internship. So collaborate with each other, get to know each other, and finally make things work. Then lastly, write clean and readable code. Although I began saying it initially, um, I began discussing something similar initially in one of the past slide. Write clean and readable code. Yes, we are in the era of AI, but you know the saying that, let me borrow this code from a famous movie, or let me borrow this saying. I believe it's not the car, rather the driver. Um, yeah, it's not the car, rather the driver. So this time around too, I believe, even in the age of AI now that we are all using, you all understand that is not the AI, or let's say it's not the code. Let's just say it's not the AI, rather the person that gave the prompt. So if you want to write the code by yourself, fine and good, you can go ahead and do it by yourself. It will make it easier. If you want to give AI, you can go ahead. Just at the end of the day, you would be responsible for whatever code you have written. We now have also participate actively in discussions. This also constitutes to your point. It constitutes to your point even at the end of the internship, helping out others while being asked what is going on. Always speak out. Okay, what is happening? Even in group discussions, reach out to teammates at times. Okay, ask question. Don't just leave your goals to be, let's say, a silent graveyard. Make it lively. Is your own personal space, and you are free to do as you like. Nobody would really let's say disturb you right there. That's why most of if you consider that most of the mentors are here to be in your groups. So please participate actively in discussions so that you'll be noticed. There are points and awards to that. Now, on the final note, like we said, this internship is a learning environment. Basically, DSHub at its own would love nothing but to see that it gives you opportunity as much as you can to actually learn and become better than you are. We are all learning. We are all in the learning phase now, and given the transition in the world, let me specifically say in the tech world now, the whole of Techma in particular have the culture of learning and unlearning. Maybe you can transition from one aspect of tech to another. I myself, I just recently sorry, um ask questions when you need help. I did say this at the back. Yeah, ask questions please when you need help. You can reach out to the mentors, you can reach out to your colleagues, you can reach out to the supervisors. Let me not say a particular person so that you will not go and disturb him in his DM. Just start with these three: supervisors, colleagues, mentors. If only at what worst case scenario, you can go ahead and reach out to your coordinator because he's really a busy person. So please reduce reaching out to him at times. Also, I forgot to add, don't always reach out to the CEO also. Don't go ahead and disturb him. Support your teammates, and lastly, focus on continuous improvement. This doesn't only applies to the internship; it applies to our life in general. So growth is really important, and try to make sure your target every day is to see that you are better than where you are initially, so that you can go ahead and improve much more on whatever tasks you are trying to do. And thank you very much. And I would also welcome you to this internship, and congratulations on all successful candidates. For every orientation, I have the let's just say there's this thing I usually do. Always try. I give the new interns the challenge of trying to beat what their predecessors did, which was what we did back then. That was 2025 for the graphics and UI UX interns, and actually it shows some sort of impact whereby the ancestors always sorry for using the term, the ones that came before always make sure to set standard that the ones coming next will always try to live up to. So for anyone now that was able to get into this internship, front end and back end, you are the first of you are the first set for years of internship. So now set the standard so that by this year, the ones coming will always try to beat you. Set a record that while others come, they'll be like, wow, this is what my predecessor did. I would like to really beat him and make sure I am the one at the top. So this is just a fun challenge actually, but focusing on learning is much more important. I really wish that you actually do that and to see what you can achieve. So congratulations once again. I informally welcome you to the DSHub Internship 2026 cohort A front end and back end track. And I look forward to seeing all the amazing problems you'll be solving and the solutions you'll be offering. Thank you. And I believe the space is now free for all for questions. If you have any question or clarification you want to ask, please go ahead. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Abdurrahim. Please, can we get some reaction from Mr. Abdurrahim? Send in your best reactions. You have really gone ahead to explain most of the major things you need to know in your track concerning your track, both for back end and front end. Please, let's get some reaction from Mr. Abdurrahim. And I hope I'm very audible, everyone. I hope I'm audible. Can I get your comments? Can I get your reactions?
Yes, you are audible, loud and clear.
Okay. I'm dealing with a sleeping house here. Hardly any reactions. Okay, I'm getting some. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I believe from here you can send in your questions instead of restating all that Mr. Abdulrahim have already stated. Let me just use the question to navigate. I've even gotten some questions prior to this time, but let's get it here too, so that we can address it publicly. So please send in your questions, anything regarding the internship, front end, back end, anything, or even the premium subscription. Okay, and I think there's one area Mr. Abdulrahim hasn't covered, which I would happily cover. That is the premium subscription. Yes, there is the payment for premium subscription is currently ongoing, and the benefits attached to it have been made public. I even pinned it in the group. If you go through the announcement group or even your group personally, your personal track group, you find it there, the method of payment and all of that, the benefit that has to come with it. It's quite important. Being under the premium subscription because the internship is going to be very intense. You're going to be having a lot of things that you need someone to actually follow you through. You need reviews for that, and the premium subscription make provision for that, and also your certificates, career guidance after the internship, um, access to the chatbots, and other benefits that are there. So it's very important, and it even comes at a very cheap cost. Okay, I've seen some questions here. I think it's about one question. It says that will the projects we will be building be real life project that will later be used, or they are just for practice purposes? Now, some of the projects that you're working on are actually projects that will be used because some of these, some of the things that were used in this particular cohort were designed by the last cohort, and some of the things that, some of the problems we gave the interns to solve last time, the problems that we actually witnessed while working on some of DSHub's project itself. So there are projects that are actually applicable. They are relating to real life problems. We don't give abstract problems. We don't give abstract assignments that are relating to problems that you won't easily find. It's your everyday, day-to-day problems that we use to modify your assignments. So I hope that has answered your question. Do you have any other questions? Please go ahead. Feel free. Feel free. It's an open space. Send in as many questions as you can. This is your time right now. All right, I remember getting a question regarding premium subscription. That if you pay for premium, when you be allocated a supervisor, and um, when will any other thing come? Now, if you pay for premium, your supervisor will be allocated to you within the first week before the internship officially kickstarts. That is this current week we're about to enter. So from Monday till Thursday, you'll be notified about supervisor that will be allocated to you. Note, take notes, a supervisor will be allocated to you, not a mentor, please. So a supervisor will be allocated to you. So you get to know within the first week before we start. We are starting on the 23rd of this month. So, do we have any other thing? Any other questions? As I said, please feel free. Okay, I'm seeing another question. Can one select both front end and back end? Now, a straightforward answer is unfortunately no. You can't select two tracks at the same time. You have to take one track at a time. But you can take front end now and register for the next cohort and take the back end if you are interested in taking the both of them. And my own advice is taking two tracks at the same time. Taking one track in the first place is actually going to be a lot of work. Now, having to do two tracks, being accountable for two, is something that I doubt so many people are going to be able to do in this internship. So, the direct answer to your question is no, you have to take one track at a time. Another question is what about we that are about to go for NYSC? Is there anything I can do because I don't want to miss this opportunity? Going for NYSC, do you mean going to camp itself or you are already at camp also? Is it going to hinder your performance? Yeah, if you notice, I know that people at camp, there are some strict rules in camp. Like you can't, they don't prevent you from using your phone though, but you might be very engaged every once in a while, and there's a lot of work for you to do. And I think even in the last cohort, there are some people that are actually at camp taking the internship at the same time. Only that there was some delay in their submissions and there was some delay in how they progressed, but they still try to make it possible. Now, if you feel like it's going to be very difficult for you, you can't actually make it possible, you can defer and apply for the next cohort. But you feel like, okay, you can still pull through, but you might be facing some difficulties along the way. You can inform your supervisor about that so that whenever you have a late submission or you come late for meetings or you miss a meeting due to some engagement in your camp, it will be understandable. So I hope I've answered that question. Um, do we have any other questions? I think Teresa asked, okay, I've answered that. Can one select both tracks? And I've also answered Mr. Ahmed. Amin, I think, I'm not sure. Amin Homi also, I've answered your question too. So I hope, I know that there are more things to attend to because I've gotten a lot of DMs too. So I'm expecting more and more questions on this. Nobody has any question about the hosting session, the coaching session. I'm sure all of you all understand that already. Or do I need to come again to explain that? Okay. So by now, I hope all of you, since I'm talking to both the front end and the back end, I hope all of you already have a team leader in your group. Or let me say a group leader. I hope you're all assigned to a group already. You've already joined your group, gotten to know your group members, and gotten to select a team leader. And also, I hope you've all had a discussion or maybe you're voting and selected a track leader. It's very important. This weekend is the last chance you have to do that. So if you've not selected a track leader yet, please use this weekend, use this Saturday, use this Sunday and Monday to do that. It's very important and make sure that you select your track leader very wisely. All right, there's still time. There's still time. I'm still waiting in for more questions, more clarifications. If you have any, you can still send them in.
Yes, thank you very much, the coordinator. And I want to also take this opportunity, take this time to also thanks Mr. Abdurrahman Abdurrahim for delivering such an amazing presentation. Thank you very much, Engineer Abdurrahim Abdurrahman. Thank you so much for putting us through the front end and back end journey. Yes, thank you very much. And I'm quite surprised because I've not seen any technical question. Um, because I think, yes, if you have question and maybe you are not going to ask here or you are not prepared to ask question, I think you can ask the question in the group or in your subgroup. You can be able to ask questions in the subgroups or in the track, under the track. But I want you to use this opportunity to ask questions because you are here with a mentor. This is going to be a mentor, one of your mentor. He's here listening. So I think you can ask any question. Don't worry about the question you're going to ask. You can ask any question. It can be very simple question. We want to hear. That's one thing about DSHub. We are a research and development organization. We are open to what? Argument. We are open to what? Receive questions that we can address. If you cannot ask question, then you are going to face a lot of problem because by the time we start sending out assignments, you will have no time to understand. You won't have enough time because if you don't know how you are going to go about it. So this is your chance, right, to prepare much early. You can ask any question. Don't worry about the nature of the question. Just stick to the word domain, right? Whether it's technical or it's just a general question regarding the internship program. Just go ahead and ask. We're here to help and answer. That's why we are having this orientation program here. So I think I've seen someone ask a question, but what I want you is to just emphasize on questions because this is questions and answer session. So please try as much as possible. If there is anything you need more clarification on, anything you want to ask, you need more information on something, just ask it right away. Myself, Tijani, and Engineer Ibrahim Abraman are going to answer the question based on the domain of the question. So take your time, write some notes, and send out your questions. Yes, back to you, Tijani.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for that contribution. While you were speaking, I saw someone asking a question that for the front end track, it's stated that it's web and mobile. When assigned a task, are we at liberty to work on either the web or mobile based or based on our skill sets? Because I'm mobile inclined. Now, the thing is, when you are being set a task, it's general. You have to work on it. You have to work on the entirety of the task itself. You can't select a part of the task to work on and leave the other parts. The points that are going to be allocated is going to be given per task that you work on. So if there's any task that you leave out, you will not get the points for those tasks. So I hope that answers your question. The tasks are going to be coming from both sides. Sometimes together, sometimes completely one side, sometimes completely the other side, sometimes both sides together. So you'll have to work on that. If you are more proficient in one area over the other, I advise you to use this opportunity to learn about the other aspects, other parts.
All right. All right. Yes, in addition to what the coordinator said regarding this question by Modupe Mary, yes, is that yes, you are expected to work on the web and mobile task. You will receive weekly task, but every task comes with a case study. So you have to read the case study to understand the assignment. Okay. But of course, it's going to come. It might come The task might come just for mobile or just for web, but you should understand that it's a weekly task. So probably maybe this week task might be mobile assignments, then the next week task might be for web. You are not going to be in a situation whereby you are going to have one assignment that comprise mobile and web at the same time. No, you're going to have probably one case study which will require you to work on mobile, or the next week case study which will require you all to work on web. But the point here is that you need to go back and understand why are you here in this internship program. That's why I always state this, because if you can't answer this question, why you are here, why you choose to be in DSHub internship program, then I think you are going to have a problem. Because if you know why you are here and why you choose to be in the DSHub internship program, you will know your objectives, you will know your interests, and your interest will have to align with DSHub objectives. And now go back to the DSHub objectives. What is our objective? One of our objectives is to train what? The next generation of what? Uh, innovators. And why are we doing that? Because we want to bridge the gap between the knowledge and practical and also real world experience. Because we realize that going through three MTT is not enough. You need real world working experience, because finishing 3 MTT is not enough to break into competitive job market. Do you understand? So this is where DSHub come in between to give you this real world working experience where you can break into the competitive job market. When I'm talking about competitive job market, I'm not talking about small or medium companies. I'm talking about incorporations, organizations like Google, Microsoft, Amazon. These are the organizations that I'm talking about. Finishing DSHub internship program puts you ahead, above everybody, above all applicants. That's why you'll find yourself having to work on a task on mobile this week, while the next week you are going to be working on completely web applications. Do you understand? Because anywhere you go, you will set yourself apart from others. Because now, for instance, if you happen to be invited for an interview at Microsoft or Amazon or Google, the kind of interview or technical questions, the structure of the interview, the process you are going through will be worse than anything you will ever imagine. Do you understand? And these are the things that we lack here, especially in Nigeria. We don't seem to move from, we are still within our comfort zone. That's why you don't find us in places where people, make waves. Do you understand? So that's the main objective of this internship. You are not being trained here at DSHub to finish and go to another training program. No, you are here to be trained, be equipped so that you can be able to break into the competitive job market. You can work anywhere in this world. That's why if you look at our weekly task, it's completely unique. We set ourselves apart from others because the kind of work we give you is the kind of work you will see overseas. In fact, I remember one mentor in the last graduation ceremony who was invited from university, I think, University of, it's a university in London. Yes, he was saying that when he saw the presentation of the graduates, he was so impressed because it's some of the things they because he was an MSc student. So the kind of work that was presented on that day, he was very, very impressed because those are the kind of work he usually see up there in the UK. In fact, those are the work he sees in the universities and other research organizations, because we want to reshape your future tech career. Okay, that's what we want to reshape. We want to train you in a way that there is no way you cannot go and work. Okay, so that's why we always say that DSHub internship program is quite intensive. It's quite intensive because of our objective. We have an objective that lifts youths from their comfort zone outside the box. That's why we always say that we need to work. You need to think outside the box. So you need to step out of your comfort zone. And that comfort zone is what is killing a lot of people. Okay. So that's why DSHub internship program. We always emphasize on thinking outside the box. So that's why you find yourself in a situation where you have to work on a mobile task. The following week, you find yourself working on a mobile task, and they all come based on a case study. At DSHub, there must be why for every task. There must be why behind each and every task. Every task comes with a case study. There must be a why, and you have to prepare yourself to defend yourself to know why you are even working on that task. And let me tell you something, it's all happen in real time. You might have a task in the following week about the issue or something happening within the organization. Whatever happening within that organization will actually be in a form of task for the following week. Do you understand? So that's how they come. That's why they are very unpredictable. Our tasks at DSHub, they are unpredictable. You can never predict the task. In fact, myself can never predict the task because it's happening in real time. Do you understand? That's what it feels to work in a competitive job market. Do you understand? I hope I've answered your question. Please go ahead and ask more questions. Yes, back to you, Tijani.
All right, thank you very much, both the coordinator and a big thanks to the coordinator and the CEO himself for adding all the insights and much more info regarding the internship. Thank you very much. Please give them a bit more of reaction. Just react kindly, please, because I can promise you this. You did hear from them, especially the coordinator himself. He's getting a lot of DMs, and you can't at times maybe prioritize, expect him to prioritize attending to you rather than while he have other things to attend to. So like they all emphasize, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask, because here at DSHub we do believe in the culture and the habit of habitual asking of question. It's really really important. Like they say, please, it doesn't really matter the nature of question. Maybe at times you might feel like the question being asked in public you might make you feel somehow or a bit underrated, but you might not know, you may not be the one to actually okay gain more on it, another person. And you see, regarding the aspect, you actually have become the medium for another person to get more insights regarding that aspect. So feel free to ask questions. Even if you don't have it now, take note it down. You can ask it in the group chat, you can ask it whenever you have the chance. And let me also, there are one or two things I do believe I want to add, please, before we end. Though starting from the premium, it may have skipped my mind. Subscribed to it. There is much more. There's a lot of benefits regarding it, because you'll be given access to, like they said, there's up internship bots that will be giving you real-time assessment of your work, and also be giving you feedback regarding where you improve, because like I said again, learning and improvement is a really strong culture that we are trying to adopt here at DSHub. Then subscribe for the premium if you have a chance. Then again, I believe for the person that asks question regarding mobile and web, since you said you are I believe you said you are mobile inclined, Flutter. Let me also add to you that I believe even with Flutter, it doesn't really matter whether you are asked to do web or mobile, because Flutter has, I believe it's called Flutter Web, right? Whereby someone can build web applications with the framework. So just like you said now, I think your comfort zone is mobile, but here at this internship, that's the whole point of the internship, taking someone out of his comfort zone and seeing it that he actually achieved a lot. Then again, though I believe most of it has been said by the CEO himself. Thank you very much, sir. Um, you at DSHub, please, you are not giving, you will not be giving tax saying, okay, build HTML page, build landing page, make sign up page, make e-commerce, or let's say make an LMS. No, that's not how we do things here. You will be giving a problem, at times scenario, or let me even say it here, you be given scenario in the sense that you are the one to actually figure out what actually is the problem, then propose the solution or how you go about solving it. Actually, then go about and solve that particular problem, outline all the steps you followed, because you'll be asked regarding it on the day of the hot seat. You'll be responsible for the solution you offer for the particular problem that you were able to infer after reading and understanding the scenario presented to you. Just like you said, also, it will be in real time. So try to make sure just get to understand it. Then also again, I believe I noticed something, and in this case is very, very important. I may not, since this is even the right time to say it. The coordinator also mentioned that most of you maybe have not should select your team lead. So for other, let's say for people working or for other tracks, those in I believe UI, UX, and those in content creation team, I could say is not much of a worry, but given the tools that they are using are somewhat similar to some degree, so they won't have that problem. But here at for the ones doing front end and back end, I believe if you are yet to choose a team leader, get to know each other before even the tasks start running. I have just foreseen the problem that you'll be facing, whereby you will be given, I'm sure there's a point whereby you'll be given a task. You just be told to offer the solution in so platform, either mobile or web. Now for somebody that is the solution for, let's say, a scenario whereby the solution is to be offered in Flutter, you have five people in the the solution is to be offered for mobile platform. Now you now have five people in a team that are yet to know each other. Normally everybody just go ahead and do his tasks and throws it. Two are front two three out of five are the ones doing the front end. Two of you are doing the back end. Now the ones doing the back end, one is proficient in Python, that is using fast API and the Django, and the other is proficient in Express.js, that is JavaScript. As you can see, two entire different languages. And I'm sorry to say, we developers, um, we have some habits whereby whatever tool one of us pick up, he or she, that I won't say he's superior, but you always pick up what you are proficient in. Just like Miss Modupe, the one that asked the question, just outlined, she's proficient in Flutter. So now you are given a week to do the task, not to talk about actually no problem, nothing, no challenge. You are able to start doing the work now without communicate with each other. Everybody now go ahead and actually start everybody now goes ahead and actually start doing his own separately, and they do his own separately. This one is working with Python while this one is working with Java. And now by the day the front end guy, now they too probably are having their own issues. One is using Flutter, one is using React Native, one is using maybe let's say decided to stick with React, but he's going to do what do you call PWA, progressive web app. Now, while when it comes to the day for integration, now we now start having this famous meme now of, I believe it's Spider-Man, of five of them pointed at each other trying to throw the blame, or let's say in situation whereby we'll be having its front end and its back end. The problem is from the front end, or the problem is from the back end. So maybe yeah, some of you come into this internship having that experience, but for those that just came in maybe to learn and get more, in order to avoid such occurrences, get to know each other so that you can sort those things out. And I can say, maybe agree on, let's talk about, okay, agreeing on what, let's say, framework we are going to use. We are in the age of AI. We cannot lie to each other. There are documentations, there are community. At the end of the day, when writing code, is not the code that really matters, it's the problem that the code is solving. And the steps taken by the code to solve that problem, which, if it's done well, can be easily translated to any framework that is out there. So now, with the assistance of AI, it's very, very fast to actually does this particular thing. So when it comes to agreeing on framework, I'm sure frame on using any framework, sorry, I'm sure giving having AI in place and using it would make it really, really easy for you to work with that. So again, get to know each other so that you avoid all these conflicts in the future. And yeah, in the future, then again, I would really emphasize on, okay, before I even go on that, I can tell you something. Is not most of these things I just said it. I did not, okay, actually foreseen it. I actually saw a situation that happened. Though this one, I believe it was the front end, and just the front end and the back end actually. Both of them were not talking to each other. Everybody just went ahead and started, finished his work on his own. Now, at the end of the day, they now came in such that the front end guy finished building his front end, but from the way he structured his whole code base now, let's say he has a user, let's say he has a variable user now that is to receive email password, name, email, gender, and everything. And now, unfortunately, the endpoint, the back end person created was not returning any of those things. So now I have a situation whereby, yeah, the endpoint is working, but it's not returning what it's supposed to return. So for anyone doing, for you doing both tracks, figure out communications between yourself, and also figure out communications with the ones you'll be communicating. Then the front end also, I'm sure you'll be communicating with the guys doing the in the UI/UX track. So those ones too, communication is really important. I'm not saying this in the aspect of, okay, yeah, communication is a very important culture, that very important thing will it's very important in DSHub, and it's very, very much part of it. But then again, for people working in this particular, yeah, in this particular aspect, or in this particular field, it's really, really vital. So try to do it. Then I also forget to add the fact that there will be, or I'm sure that will be the responsibility of the coordinator, sorry for maybe impeaching your work a bit. For there will be leaderboards, whereby more of a competition between each track, whereby for every track. Now, I'm sure if you go to LinkedIn, you see all the posts, more of like a table. Every week there will be points and everything awarded to see which track is at the top. So I do hope that both of you actually um, carry this thing in mind to make sure you be you finish at the top of the table for this internship. Because I'm sure there will be some, maybe it's not, I won't make promises I can't this thing, but yeah, I'm sure the management will be able to provide gifts for you regarding where you ended up. So just communicate with yourself, know yourself better, try to figure out how to go about doing your things so that by the time the tasks start dropping, you have already figured out the hardest part. Because trust me when I tell you, um, in days of internship, and not at times, it's not the task that is the most difficult, is the teamwork and the communication. that actually had to be done in order to make the task become possible. So I'm sure some of you here are already experienced to come along into this internship, but then working with people, especially with developers, that at times we love doing things solo, getting to work with people and understanding, communicate with them is really vital. So use this opportunity offered to you by DSHub to actually learn that. So we will keep emphasizing. If you have any question or anything you want to inform us here at DSHub, um, please feel free to ask. We are not demons or angels. We are just human beings, all like you. We are just human beings like you. Thank you so much. So, Mr. Tijani, I will give the mic over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Abdulrahim, for shedding more light on that. That was very nice. I'm sure you guys will be very privileged to have Mr. Abdulrahim with you. He's a very resourceful mentor. You've seen it from the previous cohorts, and you really enjoy having him. Actually, you would. I can assure you that. And given that there are no, I've not seen any updates in questions and any clarifications needed, we'll be calling this session to an end. I would like to give you one last word of advice. If you joined this internship or if you joined this track to be a passive intern, it's going to be very difficult for you because most of the activities that would be affecting your points is going to be coming from the group activities, like the presentations. They are group activities, and they are the one that carry the most points. So if you are going to just let other people dictate how your experience here is going to be, then it might be a very difficult experience for you. But if you are going to be involved and also have a say in how your internship is going to be, how your overall experience is going to be, then I think you find it very much enjoyable here at DSHub. So this is your chance, as I said, straight from the onboarding. I've been saying that this is your chance to grow. Don't let every other person take the opportunity while you are just there. You're also supposed to struggle, fight for it. Even though you are teammates, they're also your competitors as well. So it's your chance. Please make very good use of it. So thank you very much, Mr. Abdulrahim, for your presentation. Thank you very much, the CEO and the management, for organizing this orientation too. And I'd like to call this one end. Any further questions you have, you can forward it to the group. I would respond to them as quick as possible. And when your supervisor has been assigned, also, you can forward as many questions as you can, as you want to your supervisor. And hopefully, if you have any more questions for Mr. Abdulrahim, when you book a session with him in the first, second, third week, you can direct those questions to him. And thank you very much, everyone, taking time to come. I can't look forward. I'm looking forward to seeing what you'll be doing here at DSHub, seeing your progress at DSHub. Thank you all.